I never thought I'd be the kind of man to sit here and tell the world about the day my marriage exploded. But life has a way of shoving you into places you never thought you'd be. And sometimes the only way to heal, or at least breathe, is to tell the story. My name is Michael. Most people just call me Mike. I'm 36 years old. I've been married to Emily for 12 years. To everyone else, we were the picture of the perfect American family. We lived in the suburbs, had 2 kids, Ethan, who's 9, and Sophie, who just turned 6. I owned a small but growing construction business, and Emily worked part-time as a nurse. On Facebook, our lives looked golden: vacation photos, birthday parties, smiling selfies at pumpkin patches and Christmas trees. But behind those smiles, something toxic was brewing. Emily wasn't just my wife. She was my high school sweetheart. We met in sophomore year, back when I was an awkward kid trying to figure out who I was. She had these ocean blue eyes, the kind that made you feel like she saw right through you, and a laugh that turned heads in any room. When she chose me, I felt like the luckiest guy alive. We got married young, right after college. We built everything from scratch together: the house, the family, the late nights with crying babies, the endless bills, the long workdays. For the longest time, I thought we were a team. But somewhere along the way, she changed. It started small. She stopped calling me at work. Used to be, she'd call just to say hi, or ask if I wanted her to make dinner. Then weeks would go by without so much as a text. At night, she was glued to her phone, smiling at messages, quickly locking the screen when I walked in. "Who's that?" I'd ask. "Oh, just the girls from work," she'd say, without even looking at me. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her. But deep down I knew. My gut knew. One afternoon, my sister Jessica called. Her voice was hesitant. "Mike, I don't know how to say this. I saw Emily yesterday. She wasn't alone. She was in a car with some guy outside a cafe. They looked close." My chest tightened. But I snapped at her anyway. "No. You're wrong. Emily would never do that. Don't ever say that again." And I convinced myself she was wrong, for 2 more weeks. It all came crashing down on a Sunday. My parents had invited everyone over for a backyard barbecue. My dad, Robert, was out by the grill, flipping burgers with his signature overconfidence. Mom, Linda, was arranging potato salad and lemonade on the picnic table. Jessica was chasing Ethan and Sophie around the lawn. The smell of charcoal and grilled corn filled the air. Emily looked gorgeous that day. She wore this deep maroon dress that clung to her just right, her hair in soft waves around her shoulders. Everyone noticed. My mom even said, "Wow, Emily, you look stunning today." Emily just smiled, but it wasn't a smile for us. I realize now, it was for him. We had just sat down to eat when the backyard gate creaked open. A man I'd never seen before walked in like he owned the place. He was tall, muscular, mid-30s, with this smug confidence plastered across his face. Before I could stand, before I could even ask who he was, he came right up to me and punched me across the jaw. The world froze. The paper plates slipped from my hands. My dad dropped his spatula. Mom screamed. Ethan and Sophie cried out. Jessica shouted my name. And Emily? She stood up. She ran, not to me, but to him. To Jason. Yes. That was his name. She said it. I'll never forget the sound of it dripping from her lips. Jason! She clutched his arm. Not to pull him away from me. Not to stop him. But to protect him. Protect him. From me. The humiliation burned hotter than the punch. My wife, the woman I built my life with, was shielding another man in front of my entire family. Emily! My dad barked, his voice shaking with rage. What the hell is going on here? She looked at me, her eyes wide, her hand still gripping Jason's arm. She didn't answer. Instead, she grabbed her purse, clutched Jason's hand, and walked out of my parents' backyard. Just like that. She left me. She left our kids. She left 12 years of marriage behind without even looking back. I stood there, jaw throbbing, my family staring at me with horror and pity. My mom cried into her hands. My dad muttered, "Shameful. Absolutely shameful." Ethan tugged at my sleeve, asking where Mommy was going. Sophie wailed, clinging to Jessica. And I just stood there. Numb. Broken. That night I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch, staring at my phone, waiting for a text, a call, some kind of explanation. But there was nothing. Until the next morning. When I woke up, my phone lit up with 113 missed calls. All from Emily. If you're still with me, don't forget to like this video. And tell me in the comments, what would you do if your spouse humiliated you like this, in front of your entire family? At first, I ignored the calls. I was too angry. Too humiliated. Too broken. But curiosity gnawed at me. On the 114th call, I finally picked up. Her voice cracked with desperation. "Mike, please listen to me. I made a mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. Please, I want to come back. I can't live without the kids. I can't live without you." I laughed bitterly. "You can't live without me? Yesterday you walked out of my parents' house with another man, Emily. In front of my mom. My dad. Our kids. Do you even understand what you've done?" She sobbed. "It wasn't what it looked like. Please, just meet me once. Let me explain." Explain? What explanation could possibly erase the sight of her holding another man's arm while I bled in front of my family? But I agreed to meet her. Not because I wanted her back. No. I agreed because in that moment, something dark took root inside me. Revenge. I wanted answers. I wanted her to feel what I felt. And most of all, I wanted to take back the power she'd stolen from me in that backyard. This wasn't going to end with forgiveness. This was going to end with Emily learning what betrayal truly costs. When Emily begged me to meet her, every instinct screamed not to. But anger makes you do strange things. I wanted to see her. I wanted to look her in the eyes and hear her excuses. And I wanted to know why she would humiliate me in front of everyone I loved. We agreed to meet at a small diner on the edge of town. The kind of place we used to go to in college, back when a milkshake and fries felt like a date night. Funny how life comes full circle, except this time, there was no love left between us. Only betrayal. She was already there when I walked in. Sitting in the corner booth, nervously stirring her coffee. She looked different. Smaller somehow. Her makeup was smudged, her hair tied back like she hadn't slept. When she saw me, her eyes lit up with hope. "Mike!" I slid into the booth across from her, my jaw tight. "Talk." Her hands trembled as she set the spoon down. "I messed up. Jason he was someone who listened when you didn't. Someone who made me feel wanted again. I swear I didn't mean for it to get this far." My fist clenched under the table. "So you let him walk into my parents' backyard and hit me? In front of our kids?" Tears welled in her eyes. "I didn't know he was going to do that. I swear. He got jealous. He thought I don't know, he thought you didn't deserve me. He lost his temper." I leaned forward, my voice low and sharp. "Emily, you've been lying to me for months. Sneaking around. Laughing at your phone while I was working my ass off to give you and the kids a good life. And now you want me to believe this was just some stupid mistake?" She sobbed. "I love you, Mike. I want us back. Please. For the kids. I'll do anything. I'll cut Jason off completely. I'll go to therapy. Just don't give up on us." For a moment, a tiny piece of me wanted to believe her. To take her hand and pretend the last few weeks hadn't happened. But then I remembered the look on Sophie's face when she saw her mom walk out with another man. I remembered the shame in my dad's voice. No. I wasn't going to let her off that easy. "Here's the thing, Emily," I said coldly. You didn't just break my heart. You destroyed my reputation. You humiliated me in front of everyone I love. And that's something I can't forgive. Her face crumbled. So that's it? You're ending this? I leaned back, forcing a smirk I didn't feel. No. I'm not ending it. Not yet. You're going to feel exactly what I felt. And when I'm done, you'll wish you never met Jason. She gasped. Mike. But I stood up, dropped a 20 on the table, and walked out. That was the last time I saw her cry for me. Over the next few weeks, I played the part of the broken husband. I answered her calls sometimes, ignored them others. I let her text me late at night, begging for forgiveness, promising to change. I even let her see the kids once or twice. But inside, I was building something. Revenge isn't something you rush. It's something you craft. I started by learning everything I could about Jason. A man who thought he could punch me in front of my family and walk away with my wife. Through a few friends, I found out Jason was a personal trainer at a local gym. Typical. Muscles, charm, and nothing else. He had a reputation too, not just with Emily, but with other married women. Apparently, I wasn't the first husband he'd disrespected. That gave me fuel. I joined his gym. The first day I walked in, I saw him across the room, spotting some college kid on the bench press. When our eyes met, he smirked. Like he thought I was nothing. I didn't say a word. I just signed up, got my membership card, and started showing up every morning. At first, I kept my distance. I worked out, watched him, learned his routines. Who he talked to. How he flirted with the women there. Slowly, I started conversations with the staff. Asking questions. Dropping his name casually. Building a picture of who Jason really was. And what I found made me realize he wasn't as untouchable as he thought. One night, Emily called again. Mike, please. Can't we talk like adults? We have 2 kids. This revenge thing, you're scaring me. I chuckled darkly. Good. You should be scared. Because I'm not just going to hurt you, Emily. I'm going to take everything Jason cares about. And when I'm done, he'll know exactly what it feels like to be humiliated in front of everyone. Her breath hitched. Don't do this. Please. Just forgive me. Forgiveness? I snapped. That died the second you ran to him in front of my family. I hung up. If you're still listening, hit that subscribe button for more shocking real-life stories. And tell me, would you forgive Emily, or would you plan revenge like me? My plan was simple. Ruin Jason's reputation, his job, and his relationship with Emily, all in one. I started small. I took screenshots of Emily's desperate texts to me, the ones where she begged to come back, the ones where she admitted she'd been with Jason. Then I sent them, anonymously, to a few of Jason's clients at the gym. The whispers started almost immediately. Women who had flirted with him started backing off. His tips shrank. His sessions got cancelled. Next, I found out Jason had a record. Nothing too serious, just a bar fight years ago, but enough to make him look dangerous if presented the right way. So I made sure that info found its way to the gym owner. Within weeks, Jason's hours were cut. His reputation was tanking. And Emily? She had no idea I was behind it. She thought Jason was just going through a rough patch. I smiled every night as I tucked Ethan and Sophie into bed, knowing I was slowly tearing him apart the way he tried to tear me apart. But that wasn't enough. Not yet. I wanted the world to see Jason the way I saw him, weak, pathetic, desperate. And I wanted Emily to feel the same humiliation she made me feel. So I set the trap. It was Ethan's birthday coming up. Emily had been begging to be there. Please, Mike, she said. I'm still their mom. Don't punish the kids for my mistakes. So I invited her. But I also invited Jason. She didn't know that, of course. The party was at my parents' house again. Balloons, cake, the whole family. Emily showed up with presents, trying to act like she belonged. My mom barely spoke to her. My dad didn't look at her once. Halfway through, the front door opened. Jason walked in. Emily's face went white. The room fell silent as Jason swaggered in, clearly not expecting the entire family to be there. "Mike," he said with a smirk. "Didn't think you'd actually invite me." I stood tall, my voice steady. "Oh, I wanted everyone to see this. To see what kind of man thinks he can steal another man's wife and punch him in front of his kids." Gasps rippled through the room. My cousins, my uncles, they all stared at Emily. She tried to speak, stammering, "Mike, what are you doing?" But I wasn't done. I pulled out my phone, projecting her texts on the TV for everyone to see. Texts where she admitted to cheating. Texts where she begged me to take her back. The room exploded with whispers. My mom's hand covered her mouth. My dad's face was red with rage. Emily collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Jason's smirk finally faded. And me? I felt the first taste of victory. The room after Ethan's birthday party was chaos. Emily sobbing, Jason pale and stiff, my family whispering in disgust. I just exposed them, her desperate texts, her betrayal, her broken promises, right there on the living room TV. My mom cried silently. My dad clenched his fists like he wanted to throw Jason out himself. Emily covered her face, shaking. Jason muttered under his breath, "This is low, man." I turned on him. "Low? You walked into my parents' backyard, punched me in front of my kids, and walked away with my wife. You don't get to lecture me about low." He smirked, but the confidence was gone. "She chose me, Mike. That's what you can't handle." Emily sobbed harder at those words. I leaned close, so only he could hear. She begged me to take her back. 100 times. "You're just the rebound guy who thinks muscles make him a man. But you're about to learn how fragile your little world really is." Jason clenched his jaw but said nothing. He left before dessert, storming out without looking back. Emily tried to follow, but my dad blocked the door. "Sit down, Emily," he said coldly. "You've humiliated this family enough." She sank back into the chair, silent. That night, when the guests had left and the kids were asleep, I sat alone at the dining table. The cake was half eaten, balloons sagging in the corner. My phone buzzed. Emily again. Her text read, "Mike, please. I'll do anything. Just don't give up on us." For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. But then I remembered that punch, that humiliation. And I remembered my promise. She was going to feel what I felt. The next few weeks were the climax of my revenge. Jason's gym job was already shaky from the rumors I spread and the record I exposed. I pushed harder. Through a friend who worked in HR, I made sure his background check got flagged for violent behavior. His contract wasn't renewed. Just like that, he was unemployed. Then I tracked down his landlord. It wasn't hard. Jason wasn't exactly discreet. I let slip that he was behind on payments and had a dangerous past. Within a month, Jason got an eviction notice. He went from smug trainer with women at his feet to a broke man sleeping on his buddy's couch. And Emily? She was unraveling. She'd call late at night, her voice broken. "Mike, I don't recognize myself anymore. I ruined everything. Please let me come home." Sometimes I answered. Sometimes I let her cry into the void. I wanted her to stew in it. To know what it felt like to want someone who wouldn't pick up. But revenge has a cost. One night, Ethan came into my room. He sat on the edge of my bed, his little face serious. "Dad, why don't you and Mom talk anymore? Sophie cries at night. She misses her." That cut deeper than anything Emily had ever done. I pulled him close, held him tight. "Buddy, sometimes moms and dads fight. And sometimes they can't fix it. But no matter what, we both love you and Sophie." He looked up at me, eyes shining. "But you're not happy, Dad. I want you to be happy." When he left, I sat in the dark for hours. My revenge had been sweet, yes. Jason was ruined. Emily was broken. But my kids, they were caught in the crossfire. And that wasn't fair. Was I really winning? Or was I just spreading the same poison that Emily brought into our lives? A week later, I got a call from Jason. "Mike," he said, his voice hollow. "You win. You destroyed me. I lost my job, my place, half my friends. Emily doesn't even pick up my calls anymore. Is that what you wanted?" I stayed silent. He sighed. "Look, man. I know I messed up. I shouldn't have come at you like that. But she told me you didn't care about her. That you were cold. I believed her. I was wrong." I almost laughed. "You thought you could walk into my family's life and take everything? You thought you could hit me in front of my kids and not pay for it?" He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something I didn't expect. "Revenge feels good for a while. But it doesn't heal you. Trust me. I've been on both sides of this game." He hung up before I could reply. That night, I thought about everything. The humiliation. The heartbreak. The lies. But also the kids. And the future. I realized I had a choice. I could keep dragging this war out until there was nothing left of any of us. Or I could cut the cord. Walk away. Start fresh. So the next morning, I called Emily. "Meet me," I said. We sat across from each other at a park bench, just like two strangers. She looked older, tired, broken. "Mike," she whispered, "please. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Just don't leave me." I took a deep breath. "Emily, I can't forgive you. Not for what you did. But I'm done with revenge too. I don't want our kids growing up in the middle of our war." Her lip trembled. "So what happens now?" I slid an envelope across the table. "Divorce papers." Her hands shook as she opened them. Tears spilled down her cheeks. "This is really it?" "Yes," I said quietly. "You chose him. And then you lost him. And now you've lost me too. That's the cost of betrayal." She broke down completely, sobbing into her hands. I stood, leaving her with the papers, and walked away without looking back. It's been 2 years since that day. Jason? Last I heard, he moved to another state, trying to start over. Emily lives in a small apartment nearby, sees the kids every other weekend. We're civil, for their sake, but nothing more. And me? I focused on my business. On being a good dad. On healing. And slowly, I found peace again. Do I still feel the sting of betrayal? Absolutely. But I learned something important. Revenge doesn't heal a broken marriage. It doesn't fix betrayal. It just delays the pain. The real healing comes when you finally let go. If you've listened this far, thank you. Don't forget to like this video if this story hit you hard. Comment below, would you have gone through with revenge, or would you have forgiven Emily? And make sure to subscribe for more shocking real-life stories like this one. And that's my story. My cheating wife thought she could walk away with another man and humiliate me in front of my family. Her lover thought he could hit me and win. But in the end, they both lost everything. And I walked away, not just with revenge, but with my dignity intact.